Hello.
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Is it clear? Voice is clear now?
Yes, clear.
Okay.
Can you open your cams? Okay, we'll start. Okay.
Okay. So I am audible, right?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So shall I start now, or should we wait for like 5 minutes?
I think we should start.
Okay. So good evening, everyone. Myself Pranali Redgaonkar. I am the GDSC event lead at GES College of Engineering, Nasik. Being a part of such a great family, it's my honor to welcome you all for today's Tech Boss Lady event. It's a great opportunity for each one of us today for having such a talented personality in the tech industry, Mrs. Radhika Chandwadkar, amongst us. Let's start this session by welcoming some well known DSCs such as GDSC ABES Engineering College, GDSC Kalindi, GDSC BVIIT Hyderabad, GDSC Shahid Rajguru College of Applied Sciences for Women, Delhi, GDSC ABES Institute of Technology. Over to you, Kalyani.
I'm really excited to announce and begin our first Women Tech Maker event, Tech Boss Lady, which is a series dedicated to all females in tech. Next one, please. Before we begin, I would like to wish a happy International Girls' Day to our honorable guest speaker, Mrs. Radhika Chandwadkar, and to all my young female developer out there. Over to you, Pranjal.
Yes, so I'll just give you a brief idea about WTM first. Women Tech Makers. So, Women Tech Makers domain aims for building a community where all women can thrive in tech. At WTN, we strongly intend to maximize our female community and create awareness among all the female developers out there through organizing collaborative events as well as creating a space for them to network with one another. So it all revolves around females who have marked a special identity and have paved a successful path for themselves. Here, I would take a chance to introduce one such woman in tech who have done wonders in tech industry. So she is none other than Mrs. Radhika Chandwadkar, who is presently a software developer at Google. To start with her educational background, Mrs. Radhika has done her diploma in computer engineering from MET Institute of Technology, Polytechnic Nasik. She holds a bachelor's degree in the fields of computer engineering from Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, Pune. Furthermore, Mrs. Radhika has also pursued a master's in computer science from a well reputed institution, which is the University of Southern California, Los Angeles. Being an academically strong candidate, she has also been a first rank holder for 5 consecutive years throughout her education. She is a person with a huge skill set, including data integration, microservices development, and is well versed with many programming languages, databases, tools, and frameworks like Spring, Hibernate, Tomcat, GCP, to name a few. Apart from this, she is also a research-oriented person, wherein she possesses two research publications on image and video processing, for which she was awarded by Institute of Research and Journals. IRAJ, in 6th International Conference in October 2013. Having her roots in software industry for more than 5 years for now, her journey from being a mere technology intern to becoming a lead software engineer at Google USA showcases her sheer dedication and passion towards her work. She is currently working on a business venture to help manufacturers in consumer goods and digital marketing. We are glad to have such a personality who is a great inspiration and a role model for all of the women in the tech industry. So, without any further delay, I request her to take over the virtual dice.
Hi everyone. Hope you all are doing good. Good evening to all the girls here and even boys as well. Uh, it's morning here in USA. I'm logging in from Los Angeles, California right now. So it's 6:30 a.m. in the morning. So all those who are from USA, good morning, and for the people in India, good evening. Uh, Thank you for that awesome introduction, uh, Pranali. It's definitely good to hear about yourself. It's flattering, but at the same time, I'm very humbled. Um, Before going into my presentation and talking more about, right, so I just wanted to let you know, guys, that I am just a normal person like you guys, and I'm not someone who is like who has an extraordinary talent or something. It's just that I have had my share of struggle, failures, and my share of hard work I have done to achieve what I have achieved and to be where I am. And today's my talk is not going to be like a teaching talk. I don't want to teach you or like tell you guys something that would like kind of like okay give you that key that okay now you can succeed. I'm just going to share my story, my journey, and my experiences, what I have had in my throughout my career, and help you guys, and at the same time make few pointers which will help you guys to go through this journey of your professional life, and kind of be that hope giver for you guys, that okay, you can also succeed. If I can do it, you can do it too. So it's not a big deal. It's just a lot of hard work. At the same time, you have to believe in yourself. And yeah, so let's start. And so as you can see, I know you guys heard a lot about me, but few things I wanted to share as well. So currently, I'm working as a software engineer at Google. Um, I'm born and raised in Nasik, in Maharashtra, which is a small town, and I had the opportunity of like getting my diploma at MET college, MET Bhujbar Knowledge City. That's what they say. And after my diploma, I came to Pune for my bachelor's degree. And just to correct, it wasn't Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, it's Vishwakarma Institute of Information Technology. So I'll share a little more about this complication. But yeah, so both the institutes are from the same mother, both the colleges are from the same mother institute, but they have a different name. So, and after that, I had opportunity to work at Persistent Systems for almost a year. And while working there, I was involved in creating features for a lot of financial applications for Intuit, one of our client. And apart from that, I was also involved in automation testing. And then I thought that like this is it. I had already made my plan to get my master's done, so I moved to Los Angeles, California, to complete my master's program from University of Southern California. It's one of the top 10 universities, if not in the world, in US. So it's a very privilege and very honored to graduate from that university. And while I was completing my masters, I had a chance to do internship at one of the auto finance company back in US, which is called Westlake Financial Services. There I started as a technology intern, and then uh, I climbed up the corporate ladder. and eventually I became the lead software engineer there. And then I made a switch to, okay, finance industry is great, but I wanted to be in the software engineering domain. So in a software engineering company, and that time I made a choice that, okay, I need to make a career change. And then I got this opportunity at Google, and right now I'm here. And so let's move on to the next slide. um, so today's checklist, right? What are we going to talk about? I like to be on an agenda so that I don't go out of the topic. And so the main focus here is going to be, as I said, right? Like I'm going to share some of my experiences, some stories, what I have done till now, and how I came where I am today. And at the same time, I'm going to talk about how can you create your own personal brand. So sometimes people say, like, okay, what's your personal brand? And I have to tell them that, okay, personal brand is not like, okay, like you have to have some kind of a product or something or anything. It's just who you are and what you stand for. What are your skill sets? So that's what your personal brand is. And when you say I have to create your personal brand, it's basically mainly figuring out your why, or why do you want to do what you want to do. Like most of the girls here out here are looking to be uh, you know uh, an software engineer, or maybe you want to be a scientist, data scientist, or maybe you want to be like a software tester. You don't know what you like. I don't know what you want, right? But you should know what you want in your life. And that's the one thing, like creating your brand is something what you know what you want, and you know exactly why are you doing what you're doing. So this brings me to the next slide, which I'm going to talk about, is starting with your why. So I've read this amazing book by Simon Sinek. It's called Start with Why. You guys should definitely read that book. It's a life changing book. It basically talks about why what is your why, and why it is important to concentrate on your why. Like, because for me, like, coming back to how I started my engineering journey, right? Like, I come from a business family background, and I my dad has three daughters, so we are all three sisters, and he doesn't have a son. So here comes a point when you realize that, okay, you don't see it people saying that, hey, you need to have a son, but you can internally feel it that, okay, you know what, people out of that thing, they have an assumption that, oh, this person has three daughters, so basically he's just gonna maybe like graduate them, like, okay, just get done your master, like bachelor's or anything, and just marry them off, and then that's done, like girls have no future, right? Most of the time it happens like that, and that's what used to be like considered like long time back, not now. Today things have grown a lot, and things have gotten better a lot. But at that time it was like, okay, you know what, you are a girl, so you just got to get a degree so that you can, like, okay, show that I have some education. And then you just marry to a person who is, who is doing good in the career, and you just follow his footsteps. But you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. I, as a girl, I thought that, okay, what if my father doesn't have a son? Like, I'm gonna be the son which he wants. And I did whatever I can to make him proud, because that's what it is, right? What does a son does? He carry on the legacy of his father or his parents, right? So I wanted to do the same. So it doesn't matter if I'm married in some other family, but I still have the name of my father, right? People are always going to say, like, whose daughter are you? So I just wanted to change that thing, that, okay, I don't want to be called like, okay, this is Radhika Chandwadkar, Jayant Chandwadkar's daughter. I wanted people to say, like, okay, this is Jayant Chandwadkar, Radhika Chandwadkar father. So that transition I had to make, and that was my why. And other than that, I don't know how many guys have followed Kalpana Chawla, but when I was a kid, I was really fascinated by her. I mean, I used to watch each and every news channel, each and every, like, like, okay, whatever her show is, her interview is, that, like, okay, because I wanted to be like her, because the impact that she had created on the whole world, being the first female astronomer from India. And that was something that, what, I want to do it. And I tried a lot of things to, like, okay, how can I be an astronaut? Because I wanted to be an astronaut. And I tried to, like, research a lot of things. I tried to connect with people, and but at that time I didn't have enough resources or connections, or, like, that network where I could, okay, see, like, okay, this is the path you have to follow, and, this is how you become an astronaut. And I didn't know that. So what I thought was, okay, the closest branch to astronaut is engineering, so you know what, let's go to engineering. And then I chose software because, okay, what if I don't get a chance to go on the spacecraft? I can at least build something for the spacecraft, right? So I thought, okay, let's go for software engineering. Actually, it was computer engineering, so it was a mix of software and hardware. So I kept, like, uh, my field open, so I can, like, go into either software or hardware, because at that time I wasn't sure that I want to be in proper software or hardware. So I chose computer engineering, which gave me a, like, an option to go in whichever direction I wanted. And that was my why, was like, okay, I want to be a person who will create some kind of an impact. It doesn't have to be a major impact like Kalpana Chawla, but at least I wanted to be a, a hope giver to someone who is also going through the same journey, or who has the same uh, background like I has. Like, all you girls, I don't know if you come from a family where you are the only daughter, or maybe your father just have a daughter, you don't have a brother. So you have to stand up for yourself, and you have to define what is your why. Maybe your why is just to be the best developer in this world. May be it, like, you know what your why is. You have to define what's your why, and you have to work around that. And then comes the how, like, how are you going to do things to get to your why? And that's where I found it, like, okay, I have to complete my diploma, because I knew from the beginning that, okay, I have to get my engineering done. So the instead of going for 11 12, I thought, okay, let's go for diploma. That's gonna bring me a little ahead of my current class. And that's what I did. I completed my diploma. I graduated as the first rank holder. And then I made a choice that, okay, I want to go to Pune for my engineering, because when it comes to, like, okay, IT, people are always like, okay, you have to go to either Pune, you Bangalore. And so these cities are very popular. Like, here, if you have to, in US, if you have to go somewhere, it's like you have to be in the Bay Area, like, okay, San Francisco, because all the tech companies, tech giants are there. So same was in India, like Pune, Bangalore, and all these cities are like famous. Nasik was like very small city, like no offense, it's a very beautiful city. I love Nasik, I love the weather. But at the same time, I wanted different choices in my life, and that's why I made this decision that, okay, I have to move to Pune. And that was something, was like a foundation for my career, because when I moved to a different city, that gave me a confidence that I can live on my own, I can survive on my own. I mean, like, I don't have to be dependent on my dad driving me to college or driving me to school, or my mom to filling up all my, like, things, that important things, documents, and my dad going to the bank and, doing stuff for me. I didn't want to be in that stage that I am dependent on my parents or anyone else. I wanted to be an independent, self self-sufficient woman, as if you can say. Like, I wanted to do things on my own and figure out the things on my own. So that gave me a foundation that, okay, in a new city, I have to build my things by myself, do things on my own. Then I figured out a lot of things by myself, and at the same time, I didn't at all get distracted from my college. I still give my best. I as she said, right, that I had a chance to work on some research papers. I had done some online courses, certifications. Apart from that, I was also involved in some other activities, extracurricular activities. But I never lose the focus of, like, okay, I know what my goal is. My goal is to get my masters done, so I accordingly was planning my future. I knew, okay, I have to get my master's done, but somehow it got delayed. And then I'm going to talk about that. But so I said, okay, you know what, let's get a job. And then the first company I interviewed for, I got a job there, Persistent System. And I was very excited because that was my first ever corporate job. And I started to make like real money. And so I was very excited. And the first month I was like on cloud 7, like, okay, I just have reached my level. I just And that time I got a little distracted because you start to see some success, some money, and you kind of like give up on your goals. Or you say like, okay, you know what, let's delay, maybe some other time, maybe just let me enjoy. I completed my engineering, I worked so hard for here, right? To come here, why to like, okay, work hard more? I have already done my share. Because bachelor's in India, it's very competitive, I know. And so I thought, okay, you know what, let's relax. But then at the same time, I knew that, okay, I can relax for a month or two, but okay, I cannot do this for my whole life. I need to go ahead because everyone besides me was doing the same thing, like, okay, working a job. Then what is the difference between me and the other people, right? If you want to create your brand, you need to do something different than everyone does. So I made a choice that, okay, I don't want to be with the crowd. I want to separate myself from the crowd. And the only way I could separate was by going in a different city, building a something different life, and achieving something different. And at that time, whoever was in my sphere of influence, I was like seeing them working a job. So I thought, okay, you know what, let me go and get my master's done. And I was the first person in my family to go to US, United States. No one there, no family in US. I was all by myself. I figured out right from like figuring out how to give my GRE, to how to apply, to how to book an appointment for my visa. Everything I did on my own. So there wasn't like someone who was like, okay, guiding me, or there was someone who has already gone there and helping me. So that was a major achievement for me, that okay, I did this thing by myself. Even my mom dad was very surprised that, okay, how did this girl do everything on her own? And I was like ready for it because I wanted it so bad that I just did it. And I came here, got admit from USC, and completed my graduate here. And I had my own share of struggle. I was not a perfect coder or a developer. Even today, I'm not. I cannot say, like, you know what, you give me anything, I'll do. Like, I know all the technologies, all the frameworks, and you can ask me whatever you want. It's not the case. But I chose to be uh, excellent at what I was doing. I didn't try to be a perfectionist, but I gave my best to whatever I was doing. And I think that's what has brought me here. So if you are here, you don't know what your why is, maybe check in your sphere of influence. What kind of lifestyle do you want? Maybe you see your father having a business and you want to maybe start your own startup. Maybe that's your why. Maybe you just want to make your parents proud, or maybe you just want to make a lot of money so you don't have to struggle for each and every rupee, right? Whatever is your why, you have to figure out, and then you backtrace from that to how are you going to reach that goal and what are you going to do. And in the same time, you will figure out that, okay, what do I need to achieve where I want to be, and how am I going to do it? If you want to be the best in data science, then you figure out what are the certifications needed for data science, what are the some research things I'm going to do there, what is the best way, how can I connect to people who are in the data science field. These all things will pop up when you know what you want, right? It's like if your focus is there, then your mind starts to think about different questions which will take you there. But if you don't know where you are going, then your mind will be like going all around like deer in headlight, deer, right? So moving on to the next slide, right? So I wanted to share a few things, like it's not what you have, and it's always about what you do with what you have. So when she said, right, I think Pranali said like, hey, she completed her bachelor's from Vishwakarma Institute of Technology. And I said, no, it's not Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, it's Vishwakarma Institute of Information Technology. So there's a story behind that. So both the institutes, one is called VIT and the other one is called VIIT. So there's a difference of I in it. So you all guys know that, okay, after your diploma you have to, like apply for colleges, and then you get your admit for your bachelor's, right? So I wanted to go to VIT. Okay. And I got the book from the Pune University, which has the list of all colleges. And I opened the book and I made out like a list. Okay, I have COEP, I have PICT, and then I have VIT. And unfortunately, or fortunately, I would say unfortunately before, but today I would say fortunately, that I saw that there were two colleges. One was Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, Pune. That was the name in the list in the book. And the other college was VIIT. And I got confused. I was like, okay, maybe VIT is VIIT. They just call it VIT. And Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, they had not abbreviated it. They had specified full name. So I thought that's a very different college. What Vishwakarma? I don't know. And instead of putting VIT, I put VIIT. And when I got to know that I put VIIT instead of VIT, when I got the admission and I was going to Pune to fill out my final form, like, okay, I'm going to pay my fees there. And on the way, I met my brother, like my uncle's son, and he was like saying, like, you know what, uh, show me your, that application letter or something, like your list or some final. I think it was an online list which was available. Then he asked me like, okay, show me that, and then he saw, okay, it's VIIT, and he was from Pune because he studied in Pune. So he said, no, this is not VIT, this is VIIT, and that was like a major shock for me, because if you go to the college, that area was awesome. Like now it's very well developed, but if you had gone like few years before, during when I got the admission, it was not so happening. Like most of the areas were like lower middle class people staying there, and a lot of like crimes happening, especially with girls, related to girls. So it wasn't a safe neighborhood. But I I I I couldn't do anything. I just got what I had, and I couldn't, like, reapply or anything, because it was in my top 10 colleges. So I had to take the admission there. And I wasn't in that position that, okay, you know what, let me just wait for a year and then next year I'll apply. Like, why would I waste 1 year for this? I was like, okay, let me just survive through it. What's gonna happen, worst to worst case? I don't have to go out after 7. I'll have to put some restrictions on myself. Maybe I won't have the best education, but I will make the best of what I have. I will go out of my way and do something different in whichever way I could. And that's what I did. Even though it wasn't in my favor, I still stick through it. I didn't give up. And I didn't say to my dad that, you know what, pay some donation and get me an admission in some good college in Nasik. I could have said that. I had that ability to say that. And even my dad had that finances to do that. And he even asked me that, hey, I don't think you can be here, because if you are going all the way to Pune to just go, and at that time VIIT was not like well known. It was just a newly started branch of VIT. It wasn't even an autonomous college. Now it has become an autonomous institute, but at that time it wasn't. So I was like, okay, how do I like go ahead with it? And my dad was like that, how will you go ahead with it? It's not even like a college where you can put on your resume and say like, oh, this is the best college. Then what's the use of going all the way to Pune and struggling so much? But I still made the decision that, hey, you know what, some or the other way I would have done it, right? If it was VIT, I would have done it. So how does it matter? It's just one eye different, like who cares, right? And I did whatever I can. I graduated as a topper of the university and everything happened very well. And then finally I got my admission and everything, and then I worked out, and then right here I am. It didn't affect. Even if I was in VIT, I would have done the same thing. I'm still working at Google. They didn't ask me whether you graduated from VIT or VIIT. They just they just said that, okay, what's your skill set? How are you going to do stuff? And I got through it. So it doesn't matter where you are in life or what you have. It matters from what you do, what you in from what you have. So don't feel bad or low about your situation in your current life. Maybe you don't have the right finances, maybe you don't have the right skill set, maybe you don't know what to do, maybe you are just, blank about your future. But don't feel low about yourself. You have what it takes, you can do what it takes. There are a lot of resources available right now than they were at my time. You have internet, you have social media, you have so many people out there who are looking to mentor people like you, students like you. You just have to figure out the right way to do things and what you want. So coming on to the next slide. So here I wanted to mention, right, like, okay, you are completing your bachelor. Some people might have completed their bachelor, some people are already moving on to, masters. So what are the few things to consider? While, like, you don't just have to be a person who has a bachelor's degree, right? Everyone has a bachelor's degree, right? Half of the world is in software engineering, frankly speaking. Everyone, you go 10, 9 out of 10 people are software engineers. That's the truth. So how are you differentiating yourself from a software engineer? So these are few things which I was, like, thinking about that. Okay, what did I do and how was I different from other people in my during my phase of growing. So first thing was knowledge. Like, as I said, right, you can do whatever you want. It's your life. You want to do some research, go ahead, do some research. Find a professor who is working in your field, do some research, publish some papers. Maybe, like, work on a project which will help you in doing some research. Maybe go for hackathon events, like, you will get to network with a lot of people there. Project competitions. I remember I went to a project competition. It was a very simple project competition, but I still went there. It was in Aurangabad. And I don't remember the college, but it was long time back during my diploma. But I went there. I didn't get a prize or anything, but I got to meet other people who are doing cool stuff. I learned from there. So these things these experiences, you will see like, oh my god, I didn't get a the first prize. Why do I have to go there? Or why do I have to take part in another competition or go for another hackathon? No, it's a learning phase. You don't know at that time how it will help you. But if once you go in your future, when you look back, you will realize that each thing what happened in your life has a purpose. And certifications, maybe you want to be in, like, okay, I want to be something in data science, I want to be in cybersecurity, maybe I want to be in networking. So find out what are the certifications for there, what are some frameworks, tools available outside which are, like, gaining popularity, and do certifications in that. Nowadays LinkedIn has started offering, like, courses online. There are Udemy, and I know there are a lot of academies online where you can do these certifications. Microsoft has their own set of certifications for their own tools and frameworks and languages, which I got an opportunity to get one of the Microsoft certifications. So you can figure out that and find out what you want and work according to that. Then social media. So someone of you here doesn't have a LinkedIn profile, I would highly recommend that right now you create your LinkedIn profile after this event. The first thing you do, like, I don't care you got anything from this, but only one thing, if you got that, okay, I have to create a LinkedIn profile, that's enough for me. Because LinkedIn is the new Facebook. You cannot like ignore it. If you are a professional, you have to be on LinkedIn. You have to create your profile. You have to be there talking around, networking with people from different industry, whatever industry you want to be in. Be in connection with recruiters, be in connection with top leaders in different companies, because that's going to help you. That network is going to help you for long term, and that's what it did for me. So you cannot ignore LinkedIn and say, like, you know what, I don't care, I just have my Facebook profile, I'll create my resume and I'm just gonna apply. It doesn't work like that. So LinkedIn, you definitely should have your profile, create an informative profile, put whatever achievements you have in there, because no achievement is a small achievement. So you don't think about, oh, whether I should put this project in my LinkedIn or not. No, you have to put it because you have worked hard for it. I don't care whether it's a simple project for other person, but it's a big deal for me. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to put it on my LinkedIn profile because I want to see recruiters looking, seeing my profile and approaching me for job opportunities because I want job, right? So you have to think that way. Be a little selfish or be bold and confident about yourself that, hey, I can do it. I have what it takes, and show to the world like that, because this is what is going to, like what I say, like marketing your brand. Whatever you are good at, your social media has to show that. If your social media doesn't show who you are, what you do, then you don't have a social media. You are just trying to fool around. And the other thing, experience. If I know in India internships don't have that much, like popularity, or they are not, like there are not many internship opportunities available. But you can try to, like do maybe unpaid internship. I don't care, like I want to be good at what I do. So I'm going to figure out, if I have to do unpaid internship, I'm going to do that. If I have to, like go through my connections, my uncle and aunt work for a good company, I'm going to ask my uncle, like, is it a possibility that I can get some chance to work on it? I would love to be on one of the projects. You can always ask your uncles, your aunt, your brothers, whoever are working in the industry. And it doesn't have to be a very good company. You can even work for a small scale company, but it will give you experience. It will give you the real life or the real world experience in corporate. Because in colleges and school it's more theoretical, like, okay, you need to learn networking concept, you need to learn CS concepts. But the real experience, how to actually deploy an application which is being used by a lot of people, hundreds and hundreds of people, maybe it's used by 10 people, who cares, but I'm going to do it because it's going to impact 10 people, right? It's better to impact 10 people than impacting 0 people, right? So 10 is always greater than 0, so why not? So experience, like have internships, try to get as many internships as you can. In US I didn't have the opportunity to, like do internship every semester. If I had, I would have done. And while back in India, this was a mistake I did. Like back in India I didn't do internships because that was not even in my radar. And no one told me that, okay, you know what, you should do internship. And even I didn't, think about it. So if you are in that situation where you are, like still studying, and you are still through your bachelor's, you can always go out and find internships, because that's going to help you. If you don't want to do your masters, that's fine, it will help you for your first job. It will add in your experience. So companies, they would not check your education, but they would check your work experience. So find the internship in the area which you want. You will definitely gain a lot of experience, and it will add up to your profile a lot. So that would be my suggestion. Like what mistake I did, I don't want you guys to do the same mistake. Try to find, what would happen in the worst case, you won't get an internship, but at least you tried. and it will prepare you for your next job. Like, okay, I know how to work hard for getting an internship, now I know how to work hard to get a job. That's an experience. So everything is an opportunity. So don't think of, oh, I have to go through this struggle, because every struggle leads to a victory. If not a victory, it will give you an experience which will help you for your next victory. And basics, like, keep doing all this stuff, socialize, have volunteering experience. I know you guys are doing such a great job, Kalyani, Pranali, Atharva. This is such an amazing event. I can't even express, like, I have never seen such kind of an organized event back in India when I was. So I'm very much, thankful. I'm so proud to see you guys, like, doing everything and organizing it at a very large scale. I'm so proud of you. I'm so thank you for inviting me here. So all these things you have to keep in picture, but at the same time, don't get distracted from your studies. Work on your subjects and everything, but at the same time, find out what is your programming language. You need to figure out whether Java is your best, whether C++, whether Python. And for US, the mostly used languages are Java, Python, C++, C. These are the mainly used languages. So if you are in one of the threes, then that's going to help you a lot. Other than that, work on your data structures and algorithms. Because in India, we feel like, okay, you know what, it's just a subject. I know how trees are, I know how queue is, I know how what stack does. But you don't know how to apply a stack to a problem. You don't know how to use a queue. So even I was the same thing. Like, okay, I knew that, okay, there exists something called as stack, there exists something called as queue. That's how they teach us in college, that, okay, stack does this, queue does this. There is tree does this, there are these properties for tree. But we don't know where the tree actually is applied in computer science. What are the actual real life examples of a tree? What are the actual examples where stack is used? There are very less people you will find who actually know the applications of these data structures. And companies, they don't care what data structures you do, but they care about how you apply those data structures in your problems, in your day to day problems which you get as an engineer. So, like, sharpen up your skills there. Use some online coding sites, websites which are available, like Leet Code, Hacker Rank. In India, Geek for Geeks was famous a lot at my time. I don't know today if it's famous or not. And then there is a very amazing book called Cracking the Code Interview. That book is highly recommended for people who are looking to go into companies like Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, Google, and Apple. So CTCC, that's what we call it, Cracking the Code Interview. So that book gives you some examples of coding problems and how to solve it and how to come up with a solution. So that is one thing. So do check out that book, buy one if you want. And these websites would be really helpful, especially Lead Code. It has helped me a lot to get my Google job and go through my interview, and it has tremendously helped me. So I would highly recommend these two things. And moving on to the next slide. So my journey to USA, right? So when I like look back at my journey, so one thing I realized that my Pune's experience, going to college for Pune to VIIT, has helped me a lot. So at that time when I went to VIIT, I was little, demotivated that, hey man, I'm going to this college. Like, I'm very scared to even go out alone. Like, how will I survive here? And how am I going to, go forward with some activities if I have to do some things I have to do alone? Because how long you're going to be with your friends every time? Your friends goals don't match with your goals every time, right? Your friend might just want to, have fun and relax on the room, or the what do you call, the paying guest room, right? You have. So I didn't have that. Like, okay, if I just keep on depending on my friend, I'm not gonna be anywhere. We would be at the same place. And one thing I would suggest is, try to be around people who are where you want to be in your life. Don't be around people who are not there where you are, or they are at the same level where you are. I mean, yeah, definitely friends is good. I'm not saying like, you know what, just stop, like, don't be around your friends. And, I'm not saying that you have to enjoy your life, but also find someone who is at a level where you want to be, and create an accountability with them that, hey, I'm doing this. What do you think? Kind of create a mentorship, or like a coaching, I don't know whatever you have to call, just like an accountability thing. So you can look up to that person every time, and that person will motivate you every time to go forward in life. Because people around you are mostly the same place where you are, so you don't get that, that motivation, that pull of, okay, doing something extra. If you want to get that pull, you have to, connect with someone who is at a level where you want to be, or at least you wish to be, right? So I through my, like, through my experience, I had like one of my mom's friend's daughter. She was at USC, and she was the one who was, like, okay, a girl went to a college outside India, and she was all by herself, no family there. And that was kind of a motivation for me, and I connected with her, and she was like so confident and bold and talking with me on phone, and I was like so impressed, like, hey man, I want to be like her. So I just, went, and I said, like, I don't care, I want to be like her. Doesn't matter if I get a job in US, even if I have to get my masters done and return back to India, it's fine. I just want that level of confidence and belief what she has. And with that thought process, I went to US. And sometimes we say like, okay, moving to a new country, not a big deal, but it is a big deal. It's not like you move to a city, a different city, where you can, like, every weekend you can go back to your hometown and meet your parents. Every festival you can come back, and if something happens to you, mom and dad are here to, to the next minute they are here at your place on your room, to help you. But it's not like that in US. Everything you have to figure out. First thing, you have to figure out how to carry 3 suitcases filled with lot of luggage. So that is the first thing. And then you figure out your, where you're going to stay, who is going to be your roommate, who is going to cook, how are you going to cook. You have to decide cooking schedule, which day is assigned to which person. So all these things which were like very small for us, it's like, it becomes a big deal. You have to even, like, okay, I have to create my account so that I can pay my electricity bill. I need to get an Wi-Fi. I need to get a phone, so I need to get a SIM card. So all these things, from small things, like I need to pay, like I need to create an account for my gas so I can pay for my gas. So these things we don't have to do in India, because mom and dad do that for us. We don't even know who pays the gas bill or who brings the gas home, right? Most of the time, at least I didn't know. So I came from a joint family, so everything was handled by, like someone or the other. So kids were always let away, like, you enjoy, we are doing the work. So this experience helped me to, like, figure out things on my own. And that Pune's experience was a foundation for this. Because I was able to move to a different city, it was not a difficult thing for me to move to a different country, because it was just a bigger version of what I had did. And if you guys haven't already gone to a different city for your bachelor's, or planning to go for your master's to a different country, then you will have to have that mental stability or mental toughness, that whatever happens, health issue, you get bad grades, or someone says something to you, you have issues with your roommate, or someone just insults you, you will have to be mentally tough and do it by yourself. Especially girls, we are very emotional. If someone says anything to us, we will start crying. But you cannot do that here. You will have to be very strong, bold, and confident, and say what you have and stand for what you think. Don't, like, listen to whatever people say. And don't listen to, okay, most of the girls here are, I know, like, maybe you have a boyfriend, maybe you have a significant other, I don't know. But you don't have to follow his footsteps. Oh, my boyfriend doesn't allow me to do it. What, like, are you living for your boyfriend? Are you living for someone else, or are you living for yourself? right? So don't think about what other people are going to think about what future you want. People will say that, oh, look at her, she's like trying to be on her own, self independent, let's see what she does. No, you will do it, and you will show those people once you succeed in your life. So don't think of, okay, if someone insults me, I'm not worth of it, or I'm not worthy enough. You are worthy enough. You can do what it takes to succeed in life. If I can do it, you can do it too. You will feel that, oh, right now I'm talking so much, but I was not so confident before. I was so shy and timid, and right now I am very much, like, okay, on the thing that, okay, I can speak, but I couldn't have spoken for such a long time before. And that tells me, I think I'm over time. Am I? Okay, okay, fine. So it's just one more slide, but I'll be done. So, yeah, and this journey helped me a lot. And this thing, like, see the good in yourself and in others. So that's what I wanted to tell you. Like, even if someone says anything to you or does anything to you, you just say, okay, you know what, I don't agree with what you say. This is what I think, and this is what is right for me, and I'm going to do it that way. If the person in front of you doesn't understand, you don't have to make everyone happy. There are going to be people who are going to be unhappy from you, especially girls. No one is going to be supporting you for everything. There will be people who will say that, like, you got to get married, you are too old now, you have already have your bachelor's degree, why do you want to study more, why do you want to do a job? No, I want to do a job, I want to be an independent girl, I want to provide the best for my kids and contribute the same level like my husband does. And for me, I'm so lucky to have a husband like Adish, that he doesn't ever think of like saying to me like, okay, you know what, you cannot do it. If, like, I will not allow him to do that. That's a different thing, but he doesn't do that, right? And same thing you have to have in your partner, that okay, he should support in what you do, and he should be your, like the first cheer leader for you, that hey, you know what, do whatever you want. So I am with you. So that thing you have to be, and always see good in other. Like, okay, I'm very thankful for you in my life, what you are doing, but I'm not going to, like, hurt you, or I'm not going to succeed by defaming you or making you down. So never do that. If you have to succeed, never put others down. You put yourself ahead, but not at the expense of others. So this is a really good thing. You, most of the times we see like, okay, there is a competition in our field, because there are so many people doing it, right? So maybe like you will try to find a job where someone is also trying to go for the same position. You don't have to make the other person, like, okay, you are going to for the same job, right? So let me see how you get the job. No, you don't do it. You give your best, let the other person give the best. That's the company's decision, who decide who is going to get the job. That's not your, whatever is in your thing is just to, like, okay, working hard, getting the through the interview and giving your best. That's all in your favor. That's all in your capacity. Other than that, you cannot do, and you should not do anything apart from that. Then you are not creating a good example for others. Okay. And the next slide, the last slide I would like to talk about is, I think we So, I wanted to talk about how was my journey to Google. I know a lot of you are excited to know about that how did I get. So, initially I was working for a finance company, which was Westlake Financial Services, and it was a initially when I joined, it was a very small scale company in US. So we call it fintech as in financial industry which is powered by technology. So all my friends got internship at Amazon, Google, and all these. And I was like, okay, I didn't get internship at these companies. Somehow I gave interview, but I couldn't crack it. I worked really hard, but I couldn't crack it. And it sounds so stupid, right? Like, okay, you were the topper and you couldn't crack the interview. I mean, that happens. Everyone goes through their own struggle. And I had to go through my struggle, because till this point everything was like happy go lucky and everything in my life. So this was the real struggle I had to go through. And I came here, and then I got an internship from Westlake. And funny enough, all the companies like Amazon, Google, Facebook, and all these great giants, right, in technologies, they didn't have any offices in LA as such. All they had offices was in Bay Area, New York, Seattle, and all these. And at that time, USC had a rule that if you had to extend your internship while working for your semester classes, you have to have an internship which is local. And all my friends could do only one internship, and I got to intern 3 times at the same company. So that was something which was like interesting. Like, first of all, I thought that, okay, you know what, I'm getting an internship at Westlake, not a very big company, but it's good. But that impact I didn't realize at that moment, but later I realized I was able to pay multiple credits, like credits as in like the fee for courses, through my internship. After I got the internship, I don't remember taking money from my parents for my living or anything. No, not at all. Everything I carried out, all my expenses on my own, from my internship money, and afterwards from my job money. So you will feel that you are not at a position where other people from, like, who are along with you are, but you are not there. But hold on to that. Life is giving you something. There is something good which is going to come out for you. And definitely there was a lot of hard work I did, that I got the 3 internship. Not many people get an extension for their internship. I got, because I worked really hard. And the strange thing was, at that time when I joined, Westlake was a very still growing company. But if you now, when you see, Westlake is one of the top leaders in financial services. And I was so fortunate to to be a part of some of the major projects for Westlake. I worked on a lot of data integration and migration projects which were heavily involved for. So the company does a lot of acquisitions, or like they do like a lot of mergers for auto loan portfolios. So it's like big chunk of auto loans, customer loans, you have to move from one system to another, so that the new company can service it. So that's how our company used to get deals. Like other companies who were bankrupt, they used to give their loans to us, so that now we can start servicing it. And I was the lead for those projects there. I got the opportunity for working for like more than 9 projects, I think so. 9 projects which got more than millions of dollars of revenue for the company. And I was the talk of the town for Westlake, and everyone was like, "Wow, Radhika, you can do it, this, that." And then people started to say, "You know what? You are such a good developer. You should get at Google." And that thing just hit me. Like, hey, I just lost that thing. I just kept going for Westlake and everything, but I lost my focus. Yeah, I am supposed to go in the software engineering industry. And then I started to go for, apply for all the companies and everything. And even at that time, I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I should not apply for Google at this moment. I should just wait. I should apply for other companies. If I don't, succeed, then I'll try for Google. That will build up my experience. And that same thing happened. I went through from January, I started to apply. And till July, I was in that phase. So 6 months of hard work. So when I started, I was not like doing very well, and a lot of companies like gave me rejections and all, and I was like so depressed, like, oh my god, what is gonna happen? I just need one job, it's not a big deal, I'm already doing good what I do, I'm making so much of revenue for this company, why can I get another company? That question I used to get, like, I am not that stupid that I cannot get. If I can make my own name in Westlake, I can surely make in another company. And then I started Lead Code. I started CTCC. Again, I don't even remember how many problems I did on Lead Code. I just kept practicing, practicing, practicing. I studied my DS fundamentals like crazy. Like, you cannot even, I cannot even explain how much I did. Like, if you ask my husband Adish, he used to be like, you are so in your own zone, you don't even talk with me, what is happening? And I was like, no, I need to get this done, I just want to get this done. And uh, I remember the day when I got a call from the recruiter at Google. She said that I had got a rejection from another company, which I was expecting a good feedback because I had the best interview at that time. That's what I thought. And I got a rejection and I was so sad. And then I get an email from the Google recruiter. And then I see, and then I tell Adish, look, this is a recruiter messaging me from Google. I hope this goes well. That was my thing. And he was like, you know what, you don't have to lose hope on this, just give it, you don't know, maybe this is the one. And that sentence, what he did, was of great impact for me, because small small things which people say, you don't realize what you say to others, but that make a lot of impact on the other person. And that made like, okay, you know what, maybe he's right, maybe this was the one I'm waiting for the longest time. And people were saying me, you can go to Google, and then maybe that was the indication for this, you don't know. And then all these months were preparing me for this interview, all the hard work was worth it. And I finally got, and it was in the same field, the data integration field. So my current job is in the Google Ads team. So basically, whatever the events data is, the Google Ads data is how the users interact and everything. So that data handling and management, whatever happens at the back end, that's that team I'm part of. So that's called Ads Data Hub. That's what the product is, which actually manages the event level data. And for some people who are curious, Google doesn't access what you do, guys. They don't track your activities. They just get the user data on an aggregated level. So individual user level information is not accessible. A group level information is accessible. So if you wanna like do like, for example, if you are looking for a shoe on internet and then suddenly you find the same ad on YouTube for a shoe, then it doesn't mean that Google is tracking what you are doing on internet, what you are searching, what you're not. It just tracks that, okay, there are some kind of users who are searching for shoes, and it just targets that shoe ad to all the users in that list. So if you search for anything, you just get added to that list, but your personal data is not tracked at all. So there's a lot of privacy policies and things going on in between what data Google handles. So just for your information, it's very safe, your data is very safe, your activities are very safe, not to worry about. And yeah, thank you so much. I just wanted to, share my story, and hope I have helped you guys in some or the other way and guided you. But you guys can do much better than what I did, because you guys have a lot more ahead than where I was when I was in your place. So just believe in yourself, work hard. And one story I wanted to share was last one. So in temple, right, we have god's statue, and it's made of stone. And then there is this story is about, like, there are two stones, and these stones, like, this is an imaginary story. So these two stones talk to the, like, the person who builds the actual goddess murti. So that person asks, like, okay, which one of you wants to get hit? So the one stone says, you know what, I don't want to get hit, just don't do anything to me, just keep me as it is in the temple. And then the other one says, you know what, fine, just mold me in whatever way you want, I'm fine with it. And I want to look good. So the person carves the whole statue, and then he places in the temple, and the temple is all done and everything. And the stone, which was supposed to, like, say, like, oh, I don't want anything, that stone was placed outside the temple. And the funny thing is, now that stone which was carved, which got hit before, is now the stone which is being worshipped by a lot of people. And the stone which was not ready to get hit is getting hit by the coconut every day, because people use coconut to break, right, in the temple. So the moral of the story is, like, if you don't struggle right now, you will have to struggle later. So you don't be the stone which don't want to get hit, otherwise you will keep getting the coconut hit. But if you want to be, like, a person of influence and impact, you gotta get the struggle right now, so that you will be like the statue. But yeah, with that I'm done. Thank you for inviting me, and hope you guys had fun. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I would be happy to answer.
Ma'am,
And
actually, like, thank you so much. Like, your words were just what we wanted to hear, and this is probably the best speech I have heard in like years. And happy International Girls Day to you, ma'am, and
thank
everyone
you.
here. And this is like what you said from beginning, like from being a daughter in the family or being the only daughter in the family. This actually impacts, and the way your energy and your journey was, that was really very impactful, and I hope that everyone here gets something out of it. And it's it's totally inspiring to all the like budding developers, or not only developers but also the people who want to exceed in any field. Like the struggle you did, or like you said that you were facing many rejections, and at last you got into Google. So these things are like everyone knows about it, but the way you presented today was really effective. And thank you so much, ma'am. And I would now request our audience to ask their doubts if they have any. You can ask them in the comment section also. This is like once in a blue moon opportunity, guys, so you have to interact.
Okay,
Thank
there's a
you. Thank
question
you
from
for those
Shivani.
words.
Yes, so we have a question, ma'am. So Shivani is asking regarding LinkedIn profile. So can you just give some suggestions regarding building a profile on LinkedIn?
Sure. So for LinkedIn, right, you basically first
Yes.
see what are the different options available on LinkedIn. Like there is an about, there is some interest, there is work experience, there is projects, there are publications. So all these different fields or sections, you can target each section individually and check what is your experience in that section. Like for example, work experience, note down all your work experiences there, and not only just put okay, worked at this company as a software engineer or engineering intern. You put description that what are the things you worked on. Maybe you applied GCP tools, or maybe you did something in Java, something using some frameworks. So just like you do in your resume, you put the similar things in your LinkedIn profile for your work experience. And also, there is a way to adjust what things you want to show on your LinkedIn profile at the top. So if you have good work experience, you can always bring it at the top and show it the first thing when people visit your LinkedIn profile. And also, there is an about thing in LinkedIn. So in that about section, you have to fill whatever your specialities are. First, basically, you fill about yourself, like where you graduated from, and this, that, work experience, where are you currently working, and this. And then finally, you put down, okay, these are my specialities. And also have links to different, like if you have some paper publish, have links to that. If you have some YouTube videos for your projects, have links to that added. And if you have your own portfolio, that would also be great. Like create a small website portfolio that will also give you some experience on how to deploy and how to work with HTML pages and everything, and how to deploy a portfolio, and link that as well. And apart from that, all your small projects, everything, add in your project sections. Also add your interest, like other hobbies, because that helps people that okay, this person is not like too techy and too geeky. There is some life also this person has. And if you have a very good resume, you can also link your resume to your profile. That will also help. And if you have the budget, you can always have LinkedIn Premium, which has lot of you know lot of more premium access and functionalities and tools. And networking helps a lot on LinkedIn. So the one thing I realized is the more information you have on LinkedIn, the more keywords related to your field or whatever, the more your profile comes in the top list whenever a recruiter searches. Because how the algorithm works, right? Like it, you basically search for some keyword, and they will try to search that keyword from some profiles, and then it will bring those profiles in front in a simple language. So have as much as keywords you have in your LinkedIn profile, so it would be visible in front of other people. And always like be active on LinkedIn, like the way you post on Facebook, post your achievements on LinkedIn as well. Like, hey, I did this certification, I got an employee of the month award, or maybe I got a first rank, or maybe I just graduated with this degree, or maybe you just post something. Like, you have to be active and show people that okay, you are involved in what happens on LinkedIn. So that will help you to, like, okay, that will create the feeling of okay, there is a person behind this profile who actually exists and who is doing something in life. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, so there is also one link in the comment section, and if you want to have face-to-face, one-on-one communication with Map, you can also join the link. And any more questions?
I think someone has posted one question regarding is it better to have a work experience or job before opting for MS? I think anything is fine, because I have seen a lot of people who didn't have work experience but still were able to succeed and have get good jobs in good companies in US. So it will just help you for most of the times. Like, if you have less than a year of experience, then companies don't like look too much into that. If you have had like 2 3 4 years of experience in India of working, then they would highly consider that experience, because then when you get hired, you might get hired at a higher position, maybe not at an entry level, you might get like at a mid level or something like that. So that's just gonna help you there. And yeah, I think whatever works for you. It would also work. The pros of working before going to MS is like you can have some, like create some finances for your MS, and so that you can be like, you can comfortably go for your masters without worrying about your money situation and everything. That one thing will help you, and definitely work experience will help you get a mid level position instead of an entry level master's position in companies. So usually if you get hired, like usually a master's graduate without an experience get hired as a software engineer normal, or maybe software engineer 1 or 2. If you have a good experience, then maybe you will get hired as a lead software engineer, something like that. So yeah, depending on whatever situation is, you can just go. If you like, doesn't matter, at the end of the day, if you work hard, you will still get it, but it will definitely add up to your profile. So I want to know the salary as in like for these companies like Google and all. So you will find on internet, right? You will find a special like pages, or I don't know, it's the name is FY levels or something like that. You can check it on Google. I i did the same thing. Like, I went through a lot of credible sources, not just like random web pages. Credible sources, they have like a very good structure of what different levels are in each company, and what are the different pay ranges for each level. And you can take a look at that, so it will help you get an idea of what are the salary ranges for each company and everything. So that will help you. How do you manage time, and do you have any hobbies, and do you get time for that? Yeah, I mean, uh, this brings me to the point that when I was working at Westlake, it was a very demanding job. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was a finance company, right? So finance was like very much fast paced environment. So you had to get things done right there and there. So time was very limited at that time. but I still used to manage some time here and there, like on weekends, on maybe like weekdays after working hours, like maybe after 7 or 8 p.m. I would do a lot of things which would help me, like freshen up myself. So I like watching movies a lot. I like to sing. That is one of my hobbies. That is something what I have got from my dad. I like to sing. And yeah, I also got a chance now that I switched my company, it's a very good work life balance at Google. So if someone of you is looking to get hired at Google, it's really amazing. In the first few months I have realized that they are so nice people, and there's no like work schedule or anything. It's as long as you get things done, whatever is allocated to you, you're fine with it. You don't have to, like, like your boss doesn't come and say like, you don't look online, why are you not there? So it's a very good work life balance there. So you will definitely enjoy if Google is one of your dream companies to work. But yeah, I was able to, like, now I have started my own YouTube channel, so I'll be posting more videos there. uh, and then I am also working on my own venture. So yeah, that is something I am also excited about. So I do a lot of other things outside my job as well, which helps me keeping, like, motivated or fresh. Otherwise you just get stuck in the mundane things of every day, just working, working, working. You have to enjoy your life as well, because you cannot like live and just for future. If you don't enjoy the present, then the future doesn't make any sense. How to improve communication skills? I think first thing I would recommend is books for communication. I had chance of reading books on how to have power and confidence while dealing with people. That is one book. Then there is another book called I think the name is like how I don't remember the name. I'll let you guys know eventually, but if I remember the name. But there are a lot of communication books. So that is one thing. And other than that, what I did was I networked a lot with people. So I was able to talk with people a lot. That helped me increase my communication skills, even though at first I was like, oh, I don't know how to speak English properly, even though I come from a convent background. But still, sometimes when you're talking with the with the actual people who live in America, their accent is different. So you don't have the same accent, and sometimes communicating becomes difficult. You don't understand. But if you keep on doing it, it just works in your favor. So maybe like, also one thing, watching Hollywood movies or like movies in English is also a good way. That helps your listening skills and adds to your vocabulary. And other than that, yeah, one-on-one communication, networking with people. And yeah, I think that's gonna help you. I think this will just come with experience as well, because for me, yeah, I had a lot of, I chose myself to put in conditions where I was uncomfortable. And that's how, like, maybe give a project presentation. If you are having a team, be the person who wants to give the presentation. Don't be like, oh, someone else will give the presentation. Like, try to be at places where you will feel uncomfortable. Yeah, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That was the book I was talking about. So that's a very good book. Dale Carnegie is a very amazing author. I mean, I loved his book a lot, and it's in very simple language, like not like too fancy. And there are some other John Maxwell books as well. John Maxwell is also a very good author. Even there is a book called See You at the Top by Zig Ziglar. That book is also good if you want to, have an overall self development or confidence, increase your self image and communication. So that is also a good book. I've had a very good experience of that book.
Okay,
Okay,
so
ma'am. Like
hello, ma'am.
from being like all your help, from communication skills to doing what you love or choose what you love. It is really helpful to everyone. And like, I guess there are no more questions because you have cleared every doubt of everyone. I hope, I guess so. So now I would like to invite Miss Adya Pandey, who is the GDSC lead at ABES Institute of Technology, to say a few words.
Okay, so hello, ma'am. A very warm good morning to you, and a very good evening to all the participants and their attendees from India. So, like basically, this event was literally one of those events which I have enjoyed a lot personally, because usually when you go into like events where speakers come and share their experiences, most of the time everything goes above your head. That is my experience. And like when I was sitting in this session, everything was so relatable, and I could just relate to each and every aspect of your college life or your professional life that you were talking about. All the difficulties that we face with the internships as students, and all the problems that we face. So thank you so much for coming here and like just empowering all the girls over here. And there is one more point that I'd like to add, that is like this is one such issue that I have been facing as a lead in my campus. Like the girls in my campus, they are performing way far better than guys, not looking down upon the boys, but yes, like they are like excelling like anything. And when it comes to academics, the female success ratio is quite high as compared to male. But when we come to implementation parts, when we come to the parts where they go into project competitions, or they build projects and they participate into hackathons, or they go in for internships, it's like the ratio or the percentage decreases drastically. So it would be great if you could suggest some remedies for this, or you could just enlighten the girls upon this. It would be great. Sorry, ma'am, I guess your mic is off.
Sorry. So yeah, thanks. That's a very interesting question. And yeah, I have had my same share of like that thing of, oh, most of the time these events, like especially like if you go for like proper coding events like hackathon project competition, you will see like boys are like ahead of girls. And that is one thing, is that there is a mental barrier in which girls have in their mind, that what, I am not meant to be a very geeky person, or maybe I don't have that level of like coding, or I cannot go extra because boys are like, they are technical, they can do all these things. That is a mental barrier, and that mental barrier girls have to remove. And that is completely would be based on your self image, how you look upon yourself. So definitely you have to improve your skill set. That is the main thing. Like if you want to show and be a part, or be visible out there, you will have to have some skill set. But having a skill set is one thing, but that mental barrier is also one part of it. Like even though I have what it takes, but I still feel low, or maybe because I see a lot of boys around me, I feel that what, I am not at that level, these boys are very good. And no offense to boys are good as well. Like there are so many, like for Google sundar picture, you have an example right there, right? But there are girls as well. Like you cannot deny the fact that Kalpana Chawla is the one of the best women leaders in this world. And the only thing women don't do is like, yeah, sometimes what people say, you take it literally. Like when people say that, okay, you have to get married, you just literally say that, okay, maybe what, I'm not meant to have a good career, maybe this is it, like once I get married I'll have kids. And most of the time that's what happens. Once you get married, you just lose focus from your career. You start in that chore of like, okay, cooking and all. But and then people start talking about you, about life, and then the career gets behind. So words, what people say, also create that mental barrier. So I think as a girl you have to remove that mental barrier and let your skill sets come out. And like having more girl contribution in all the areas, like maybe like these project competition hackathons, like you girls should like create your own groups and participate in that. And if someone is feeling like demotivated or anything, and if someone feels that, you know what, that's not girl thing, the guys do it, so other person should, you know, like motivate that, hey, why are you saying this, we can do it too. So not everyone would be at the same page, but you will have to bring your group on the same page and make it. Because what happens is, like, I had this in my diploma. We had a project, and my teammates were, yeah, they were excited about the project and everything, but I was kind of the leader there. So, you know, if you are the leader in that group, so if you have a project group, you will get to know who is the leader and who are the followers. It's a tendency, not that the followers are bad, everyone is good, but that level of, you know, like, let's do it, let's get this done, let's not do it, that speaking out thing, that there is a leader. So it's the responsibility of that leader to make the followers feel confident about themselves and bring out that thing from them, and that is going to help you. Like, someone has to step out and make the decision and bring the others on the same page. I
And
hope I
thank you.
was in the same. I didn't lose the track, right? It was
No,
the
ma'am,
same.
not at all. Not at all. Ma'am, like,
Actually, I have
uh,
one question, ma'am. What the
Yes.
exact skill set you should have if you are going to off campus for Google?
Of campus recruitment.
Yes.
Okay. So first thing is, whenever you are looking for a company, right? Like, off campus recruitment, as in like you are going to definitely apply for positions and you will get an interview call and everything. So do some research first of all. What companies do you want to go for? Maybe you have a pre-decided list. Okay, maybe TCS, Infosys, Persistent, or maybe you might have other companies. Like, you want, if you are open for like go outside your city, then you can go, like, I know, like, Google has an office in Bangalore, I think so, right? And then Hyderabad also has, now Amazon has a very big office there. So make a list of all these companies where you want to apply, and do some research on that, like how, what these companies look for. So for example, like, when I studied for Google, I know what are they going to ask for. Like, okay, they are more about data structures and algorithms, and they more ask about these data structures like trees, stacks, groups, graphs. So I focused my skill set on that. Like, okay, I would have, and one base thing is you have to be proficient in one programming language, because they don't, like, these companies, most of the time they don't care about the language. I don't know, like, I cannot say too much about India, because there might be some differences in the way US works and way India works. But now I think most of the things are getting similar, on the similar path. So coming back to, like, okay, they don't much care about what programming language you have. They just think, okay, you need at least proficiency in one language in which you can code and you can write a proper solution. But major focus is on data structures, algorithms, these concepts of how you apply data structures in the problems what you get. So that is one thing. And if you are looking for a specific position, like maybe a data engineer, so you might have to do some certifications related to that domain. So it will be like, for example, testing. If you want to become a software tester, then there are a lot of certification for Selenium. These are some top, automated frameworks. Like, maybe you need to have proficiency in JUnit. Maybe you will have to have there are a lot of certifications available for software testers. So this is just an example I'm giving, but these are the different ways. Like, for a software developer, as a general, definitely you will have to have a good background data structure algorithm. But if you want to go more in the operating system, then you will have need more background on, your skill set should be good on operating system security, file management and all. these things. And if you're more on the network security side, then maybe cybersecurity or networking's certifications would help a lot. And I think every time there are a lot of new tools and technologies that come up. So staying on top of LinkedIn and what other people are using in their companies. So connecting with the people who are already working for the company you're interviewing for, and asking them what are the some tools your company is using, and asking about their experience will help you prepare, like help you in the preparation. So you can target the exact skill sets and work for that.
I had a question
Ma'am,
for you, ma'am. It can go out of context, but as we know about you that you have pursued your masters from University of Southern California. So, what do you think that does university matter to get a job, to get a good job in reputed company like Google, Facebook, Microsoft?
um Somewhat it does. Like for example, when I say to people, right, I graduated from USC, they think very highly of me because USA is considered as one of the
Yeah,
top 10 universities. So it definitely has. But at the end of the day, during my interview, they don't check my resume. They only evaluate me based on how I performed in my interview and how I was able to solve the coding problems or whatever questions they asked. So maybe during the initial steps, yes, to for like getting your resume recognized, or but that is also not like a okay, even if you are not from a very well known universities, doesn't matter. Because for me, like I said, right, like VIT, it didn't matter that time. So I don't think it would matter, but it would definitely help you in different ways, because USC has given me a lot of opportunities to connect with a lot of good people, and people like leaders in this technology field. And the one thing of having a good university is like the university has good relations with these employers, like companies. Like we
yeah,
used to
the
have a lot of
career
career
fairs,
fairs.
career.
Yeah, so career fairs help a lot. Like all these companies were there, right from like you ask whatever technology company, Intuit, PayPal, Amazon, Facebook, Google, everyone had their stalls. And not every university they will go to. There are only selected universities they'll go to, but USC had all types of companies there. Like whichever company you ask for, it was there. So I think, yeah, that thing helps a lot, like career fairs, and there are like a lot of information sessions which the company organizes. So those things help in networking, being out there, talking with the engineers of that companies, the recruiters, and all. But at the
um,
end of the day, interview is based on your skill set.
okay.
Okay,
Ma'am,
yeah.
actually, as you said, like females have that, like subconsciously they know that we are not that much good in technical field as compared to guys. So, like I would add a point that the first, like world's first computer programmer was a female. So, we should keep that in mind. If she was the first computer programmer. So, like, we have a lot things. So, we should not think like that.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
So, a very big thank you, Radhika ma'am, for making our evening warm and graceful by sharing your amazing knowledge, experiences, and much more. Today we had opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will surely going to encourage us in your future. You have enlightened our minds and have shown us new path, especially me because I want to apply for Google in off campus. Thank you so much to secure time for our event from your such a busy schedule, and thanks to all my dear friends for active participation. It's very hard to say a goodbye, but we have to. So we are winding up this event. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you for
Radhika.
inviting.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, ma'am, for
ma'am.
joining us.